Took a bite of yours.
Check. All right, are you ready? Someone got the hair did. It's me. It's me.
Check your nails.
Check your nails. Okay.
How you feeling?
Feeling good as heck. Okay.
Christian version.
Ooh, child.
Right,
Okay.
ready to start this?
Yes. Oops, that's what the problem is. We are doing first or faithful.
Faithful.
Today's show is Nope. Excusez-moi. You try it again. Today's show is sponsored by Faithful Counseling. Get the counseling that you need from home. You can do it in your J's. You can talk about sex. You can talk about relationship issues, parenting, anything you want right from home. Check it out at getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. Again, that's getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage Radio. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning, guys. My name is Seth Studley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a party marriage expert. Good to see you guys this morning.
Party.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, we go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to talk about the things that matter in your marriage. And we created this show because we had a really terrible marriage and could not find the resources that worked for us.
That's right. So
yeah.
What is it? Necessity is the mother of all invention, and that's why this show is here. So we are glad you guys tuned in. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I think you just said that probably. But yeah, let's jump right in. What's up, new marriage material?
But first I'm going to say we do pigs. Prayer, intention, gratitude, and you stopped it, and we've gotten so many comments. People are like, why aren't you doing pigs anymore? So we're going to do pigs again.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yes, we are.
All
and
right,
then, so let's do them together. And we encourage you to do these with your spouse. They're prayer, intention, gratitude, real fast. So,
and before that, we're going to talk about 5 things that you can do to change your marriage right now, today.
Like today. Like yesterday.
Yes. Okay.
So why don't you pray?
Prayer. Thank you, God, Creator, for your blessings. Thank you for all the things that you have given us. Thank you for this opportunity to connect with ourselves, one another, and then all of our friends who are listening. I pray that the show is helpful and that we are also helped in that same, and we rise together. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen. So do that with your partner.
Pray with your partner. Gratitude. I'm thankful that you were brave and got your hair did because it looks really nice and sexy. So
Thank you. I look like a villain now. I was just telling Seth, I got my hair darkened, which I love. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I would have never thought to do it, but the ladies were like, you should do this instead of the thing you want. I
told Melanie that she is a character that Carrie Underwood would now sing about.
Right. Maybe next time you think.
Yeah.
But
What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that you just work hard. I mean, like every time I call you and you're at work, you're just like on it. You're talking about the next thing you're doing. We're, like we've got really big dreams.
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I might be eating a scone and I kind of feel bad, but whatever.
Well, just don't tell me. But I'm just really thankful for your work ethic and your growth mindset. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And then an intention, which you did it out of order. But my intention for today is to show up and bring it. I've got an interview. I'm going to be on the Dad Edge Summit today, which is awesome. I'm talking about leadership for men, and I have so many great analogies. I'm really excited about it.
I think our show dropped on his feed today. We did an interview with him. We were on his show, the Dad Edge Project, formerly the Good Dad Project, which is really cool. You guys should check it out. He's doing amazing stuff with dads.
Right.
I've been on there solo. You've been on there solo, and then I think when he interviewed us, we are on his show today. So you guys go check that out.
But we'll
Dad
put
Edge
links
podcast
and stuff. So Larry is rad. But what's your intention?
My intention is, so my intention, I've been getting more orderly at my other job, work stuff. And that feels really good to get caught up on that, so I don't feel like it's a weight just like dragging me around kind of thing when I'm behind, and it's like, it's just doesn't feel good. And then also to continue to grow and envision what we're doing here at AOM. So,
right. Good morning, Andy.
All right.
Yes, so that is awesome. So we did our prayer, our intention, our gratitude. Again, do these things with your spouse. They're just a quick and awesome way to connect and have a better marriage, like without doing anything hard.
That's right. Okay, let's go for it.
So again, our topic today is 5 ways to transform your marriage today. And we're going to start with number 5, which we've talked about this before, and I literally said this like a minute ago for our own intentions. But the number 5 way to transform, like have a different marriage right now, is to dream big. So what do I mean when I say that, Timothy?
to dream big. So this is really interesting. We talked about these 5 points last night, and it's something that we've done before. And I was listening to a podcast this morning, the Ed Milet Show, and he had a really good person on there, and he was saying, yeah, you start out, and this is before I heard this after we talked about our 5 things. What does your ideal life look like? You know, what is the perfect day for you? Sometimes I ask my clients, hey, what's the perfect day for you? And then we reverse engineer that backwards, right? So dreaming big is doing what we want to do, being our own boss, influencing and being influenced by zillions of people, right? And helping people at the same time.
So you're saying this is our dream, yours and mine.
Yeah, right, and so taking this to scale, taking the podcast to scale, taking speaking events to scale, writing, talking, traveling, doing this from wherever we are, right? And that is my think big, dream big, and then build a freaking amazing house where we can have all our friends over, all of you guys. We'll do an AOM like party time at our house, right? Because we have the property for it. Now we just need the facilities for it, right?
But so that was all you're saying. Yeah,
dream big.
But when I say dream big I mean specifically for your marriage, because I think people lose the sight. They lose sight of why a dream matters. So we talked about this before. I don't know if I think I mentioned it on the show, but this idea that you see, what are those horses called? Clydesdales. Clydesdales pull a giant load, right? And it's much easier if something is pulling you forward than it is to push it from behind, right? Like trying to push something forward. So I want you to have a dream of your marriage. What is it like? How do you talk? How often do you have sex? Do you laugh together? Do you travel together? Do you have 4 kids or 10 kids? What do you do? Where do you live? Like dream about it and have that dream be so exciting and inviting and great and wonderful that it pulls you toward the success of that.
It compels you always towards that, right? It's like a gravitational pull. You know, you're doing homeschooling, you're learning about space and stuff like that. So your vision is up here, and you're pulled towards it. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a black hole. Yeah.
Well, sort of, but a good one, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so and when we do that, when we do dream big in that way, it gets us out of our funk of like, everything sucks, you know, I can never do that. Well, no, you can. You absolutely can if you're intentional and if you think about it over and over and over and work towards that.
Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. What's up, Valerie?
Yeah, that's the thing I think is your dream has. So we got to wake up. I guess that's the bit. Like we've got to just like open our flipping eyeballs and stop being like, COVID is hard.
I'm saying,
it
what's your
sucks.
biggest dream? But you got to wake up.
Right. Wake
what's
up
your
and waking dream.
Yeah.
And so make your dream into a reality. And that means like you have to be present and aware and not just be like, okay, well, hope I have a good marriage. Like no one is going to be inspired by that. So get something so inspiring that it makes you want to wake up every day. It makes you want to go do those things and make those changes.
And then again, on the show that I heard this morning, the latest version of the Ed Milet podcast, it's he talked about like a 1%, like do 1% every day. And what it is, it's gradual changes. We've talked about, you know, if I get in a plane and I'm, you know, up in the air and I turn the dial on the plane, you know, that dial up front, we never see, but the pilot does. If you turn it 1%, you know, after an hour, you will be way over here rather than here.
You'll be in Tampa instead of Maine.
So sometimes you can work. So my goal is over here. You know what? I'm not going to be like, okay, 180, boom, let's go. Like this massive change. Sometimes
the airplane goes in the sky.
Right. But okay, I'm going to do the same thing, little versions of the same thing every day. Oh, guess what? How does weight loss work? How does saving money work? How does raising your kids work? Little consistent changes, tweaks over time get you to your goal.
In the right direction, in the direction you want to go. And that's I think where so many people mess up is they don't actually have the dream, the vision, what they want. And so they're just kind of like wandering. You're just like,
I think we actually struggle with this. And I think you do, even if you may not know it, right?
I know I do.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
And so we get discouraged of like, you know, if there's ants in the house or whatever, like, we need a new house.
If there's ants in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
We have
so many ants.
Right.
We basically have an ant party every day.
But it's okay. We're working towards something bigger. And an ant is literally that. It's small as an ant. My mom calls them piss ants. Like a piss ant. They're like tiny, annoying, just get on your nerves. Like, piss on that or whatever. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's this other thing, but
Your mom was funny.
Yeah, it's that idea like, okay, we're working towards this. It's crappy now, but we're working towards it. Oh, it was less than it was yesterday.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Calling it an ant party just reframed it in my mind. So now every time ants are, falling from the ceiling because they come out of our freaking light fixtures, I'm going to say I'm having an ant party. Just like when the laundry room.
You know what? We're popular and we have
a big ant following.
1 million guests. I wish we had as many
people guests as ant guests.
Instagram followers as we do ants in the house.
We have our lights in our laundry room flash. Who knows why? And for a minute I was like, what if that's a ghost? And then I was like, ooh, ghost party. So we do a dance party every time the lights flash in the laundry room.
You'd be scared out of your brain if you
No, I literally I'd be scared, but I make it a ghost dance party. So number 4 way to transform your marriage like today is to watch your mouth and stop being negative. Because
What does that mean?
So I didn't know that I was negative for like 1,000 years. And have been in the past super negative. I was really sarcastic. I thought that my jokes were really funny and it was super biting, super, how about this? My jokes
You're the only one laughing.
matched my hair now. Like I look mean. Ooh, I was mean. But I didn't realize I was tearing my marriage apart. And then I had a really good friend of mine one day flat out just said, Melanie, you're really mean. I was like, what? I'm not mean. I'm funny. She's like, no,
Nobody's
you're really
laughing.
mean. And I was like, oh crap. And I didn't know what to do or think or say.
That's right. So watch your mouth. Negativity kills. So watch not only your mouth, but your inside self-talk. Right. It's been said that we have like 70,000, literally 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those are leaning towards negative. Can you imagine that? Like, what if I'm spending $80 on junk food out of every $100 I make?
That sounds about accurate, though. Isn't that weird? That does sound right. Not for you,
right.
But like for people.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So words matter.
Right.
What you say to yourself, whatever follow. Okay, you guys write this quote down. I saw this and I was like, boom, universe figured out. Whatever follows, parentheses, I am, is your life.
Okay, so I am pissed. I am mad. I'm so annoyed. I wish he'd be different. I am
ugly. I am unhappy. Now, what if you tweak that and say, I am strong.
Marissa, peer this crap.
I am confident. I am enough. I am a man that gets stuff done.
I am amazing. I am a boss. I am kind.
What kind of life will you have after that? People?
That's right.
Somebody fitting to get me fired up. I don't know who it is, but it's not me. It's somebody.
It's somebody.
Right? I'm serious. So
the Holy Spirit. But I think it's really important. And one of the things that I'm learning as I work with coaching clients is, oh my gosh, they all sound like I sounded 4 years ago. And I want to get on the other end of that phone and just go, stop it. Like, I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? They say they want to.
You're not judging them.
No.
You're pointing it out. You're saying, hold up.
Because I couldn't hear what I was saying.
Hold the phone.
Right.
So with coaching clients and sometimes therapy clients, I stop and say, let me just point out what you just said. And a couple of weeks ago, I had a coaching client and, he's talking about confidence and stuff like that. And he's like, well, I'm just not confident. I'm like,
don't you claim that.
Brother, stop. You just said, I am not confident. And then when I repeated it back to him, he was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That does sound weird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever follows I am is what you are. Right. But when somebody points it out and you have the growth mindset and, also you kind of have to humble yourself like, oh, man,
right.
you were mean.
I
right?
was,
or
yeah.
like, oh, man, I do say a lot of negative stuff. Or like, I do really like jump on my spouse all the time. Not in a good way, right? Okay. Let me see what I'm saying. Let me what am I saying to myself? What am I saying to my spouse? So, okay.
Right.
Number 4
and it's really
is good.
Yeah, and I want you to just be aware of it. It's very tricky. It's very easy to be mean and snide and think it's funny. It's what we see in culture everywhere, every TV show, every wife is this way to her husband. But watch yourself. It's literally poisoning your marriage. And if somebody talked to you the way that you talk to your spouse, if you're the B word in the thing, you would like it.
Or if somebody talks to your kid the way that you talk to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, you're not.
Right.
No.
Number 3 is a great one. And it's this. It's so easy. Do something different. Stop doing the same dumb thing.
Nothing changes.
If nothing changes.
Oh, let's say that again. Okay. Nothing will change.
If nothing changes.
If nothing changes. Oh, what does that mean? It means exactly that.
Go back to number 4. If I am snarky and mean and sarcastic, nothing will be different. It doesn't matter if I'm thinking a different way. If I'm still talking the same way, I will still get the same dumb results that I've been getting for 13 years.
Everyone in the world gets married, and no one. Sorry, not everyone.
When everyone gets married.
When a person gets married, no one ever has said, you know what? Let's blow this thing up in a bad way.
Right.
Let's make this mediocre as possible.
Mediocre is not a word. Okra is a little tiny pepper thing. Mediocre is the word.
It's a vegetable.
Don't say mediocre if you can't say it.
Okay, how do you say it?
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
Oh,
that sounds so.
Because you're making it 2 words. It's not a mediocre.
A meaty.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Meteor?
Hey, Angel. Did you make the dinosaurs? Could you give them bigger muscles like I asked? What? Don't.
Okay.
It's so funny,
anyway,
but don't.
It's a thing. So we're totally tangenting.
So you said you didn't want people to have a mediocre marriage.
Right. Nobody sets out to just be like, I'll just kind of like get by on this, right? People don't do that, right? So nothing changes if nothing changes. If we're not intentional about it, it will just slide. It's called entropy. It's called like the natural man. It's called being lazy. It's like, the path of least resistance.
Right.
I will get fat and gross and whatever. Lazy, spend all my money if I'm not intentional around it, right? So nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you want to, I don't want to get into like the other numbers. So
what other numbers? What are you talking about? Okay, hold on. Let me read some comments. It says, this says, it also has not. It is also not what you say, but how you say it. You can say the nicest thing, but tone can make it totally have a different meaning. Yeah. So that's important to know about the not being negative, because that's what I was doing. I was trying to say the right thing, but definitely saying it like a total B word. And it was awful. And it was almost worse because it made Seth feel like now you like double, it's like venom on top of poison, as if they're different. And so it really, I agree. Tone, there's so much about communication, nonverbal communication, tone, all of that stuff that really matters deeply when you're communicating. But the number 3, do something different. Do not do the same dumb thing. This says, my wife will say, I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic.
So there's a difference in that.
Let me talk about that for 1 second.
That's a good one.
Because that is a really good one. Thank you for sharing that. Because that is how I was with Seth too. I would be like, I'm not saying something dumb. I'm just saying what it actually is. But let me tell you, if you use my sort of trajectory, the airplane model, I'm flying straight to hell, y'all. Like, I'm like, I am so just talking about logic here. This is reality. Right. Everything sucks. And that's really how.
What is it? Yeah, the road to hell is paved
with good intentions. Yeah.
Right? So you can be logic all the time.
Right.
But if you're being too logic and too rigid, guess what you're doing? You are sacrificing whatever you think is right in your brain. You're sacrificing your relationship for that. Like, would you rather be right or logical, or just like, oh, this is the right thing, but see your like relationship with your spouse deteriorate? You're like, well, I've been right the whole time, so
but that's such a what's the word? That is a total cop out. The I'm being realistic line. I've said that so many times to you. That's a cop out. That's what someone who is negative says, because they don't know that positivity can and will exist if you create it.
So guess what? You can be a positive, logical, realistic person.
Positive a-hole. Positively.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, we've had arguments when I'm just like, this is the thing. 1 + 1 is 2. Right. Everybody in the world knows that. What is wrong with you? Blah, 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 right? And it just kind of burns my brain out. So I get that argument, but I have like sacrificed the relationship in order to be right, you know? And guess what? Folks that have a marriage who have mostly that kind of interaction aren't going to make it.
Right.
And I'm not saying that, the Josh is,
is
saying that.
I would just really challenge your wife. Reality is, we create our realities. Hear that sentence. The hormones in our brains, the chemicals in our brain create our reality. The reality, if you're stoned, is that you're stoned. That's your reality. There is no quote unquote reality that everyone lives in. Everybody's reality is different.
Right.
So that person is being realistic to their reality, but what is their vision? What is your shared marriage vision? What is your big dream together? Be realistic with that trajectory in mind, not just, well, I'm being realistic. Because that's what I used to do, and it sucks and it's the worst. But back to number 3, do something different. And we have an excellent way to do something different. Y'all, it's COVID-19 right now. You're stuck at home. You hate everything. I hate everything. I don't hate everything, but kind of hate everything. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't do anything fun. That's for sure. And so
does the mail work though?
The mail does work. The mailman,
the
female man's still delivering them packages.
That's right.
That's right. So what can people do?
They can go to creativewithlove.com/AOM.
Well, why?
To have fun, to do something different in their relationship, right? So you guys, it's fast. It's fast and easy to order, right? But it's not fast to play because there are so many random things in here. Card decks, little games, little stickers, little books, little adventure things, conversation starters that you can do when you go to creativewithlove.com/AOM. And we've done this several times, and it's like, wait a minute, I've never thought of that in the world, and I've never thought to ask Melanie that, right? Or to play this game with her, kind of thing. And ghost story.
Ghost story number 2, lake creature. Ask the following questions to your partner and write down their answers. Once you are done, fill in the backside of this card with the corresponding answers to complete your spooky ghost story. And
that sounds like a Mad Libs kind of thing.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I love.
So you answer, what is my favorite animal? What is my favorite holiday? And then you translate it to a Mad Lib. One weekend, my favorite animal, bear or whatever.
Right.
Ate a hot dog.
What do I do when I see a spider? Past tense. What would I do if I wanted to flirt with you? What is a superpower you wish you had? Name an adjective to describe me when I'm sleepy. This, you guys, is something different.
Right.
This is not. So one of the things that happens when couples, this is what happened with us. And I was talking to one of my coaching clients about this. She was like, I just wish my husband would date me. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And they've been married for over 20 years. I said, what does that mean? My husband would date me. And she goes, we go on dates just because we don't want to cook. And I'm like, oh, that's so true. We do that. We just go, well, I don't want to make food tonight. Where do you want to go out? And then we're like, that was our date. And it's not the same thing. Eating out is not the same thing as going on a date. So do something different. Go to creativewithlove.com/AOM to check out all of their subscription date night boxes. They have many amazing ones.
It's one of the things that made our anniversary date so
amazing.
Fun,
yeah.
Right? Not only was it anniversary stuff, but we did something completely different. We took a Created with Love box there and played the games and put
in a restaurant. We went to Jack's Steakhouse, which is very nice, and we played a Created with Love. The Bodacious, what was it? Not Bodacious. It was the video game one.
Yeah.
And this, here, another one. Ghost story number 1, the monster. What animal do I sound like when I laugh? What is something you leave on the floor a lot? What is your favorite baked dessert? Who was your best friend as a kid? Come on, guys.
I know a lot of those, so I can answer those for you.
Go to creativewithlove.com/AOM to do something different. And again, that is number 3 in our list of 5 ways to transform your marriage. Do something different. You cannot get new results with the same techniques. Nothing is going to change. If nothing changes, do it.
I love it. All right. Numero dos.
I'd be looking at myself in the thing thinking, I am a villain. I look like Poison Ivy.
Are you going to get like a onesie suit? And
who says I don't have one? I'm actually really excited because I've always wanted to be Poison Ivy for Halloween, but I'm like, my hair's not the right color. Now it is.
It's perfect now.
And all I need is little ivies to put in my hairs.
Number 2.
Number 2 is use communication tools. You guys, don't try to communicate different. You don't know how. You know how I know you don't know how? Because I didn't know how. And know who else didn't know how? This guy didn't know how. He's a flippin' therapist with over 13 years of experience. He still couldn't communicate differently, although he could tell you all the ways to communicate.
All the stuff. I'll tell you what to do. And if I could have done it myself,
You would have done it.
I would have done it by now, right?
Mm-hmm. So use communication tools. Don't try to think that you can hold all that knowledge in your head and then apply it. And that's the thing. That's why we made our app. So we have the Anatomy of Marriage app. You can get it at the App Store. Is that thing? You can get it anywhere. You can go to anatomyofmarriage.com and get the app on our website. You can get it anywhere. And what is so amazing about the Anatomy of Marriage app is we have communication tools built in. So one of the best ones is the clearing structure. That's for conflict. Like if your partner did something that you didn't like and you don't know how to talk to them about it, use the clearing structure. That's the best way to get a new result, even if it's an old problem. And the reason it works is because you're not trying to do it on your own. You're not trying to figure out how to say something. You're not trying to use the brain power that you have because your lizard brain is trying so hard to just make you run, fight, flight, freeze.
That's right.
Right? Your brain is like, I don't know what to do.
And the clearing structure utilizes I statements. So it is not blaming. It doesn't use words like we sometimes
you
use
always
in
this.
fights. You always this, you never that, which both of those just are not inherently true, on any level, because we're never always doing something and we're never not doing something, if that makes sense. So it really takes it back, it externalizes the problem, and makes you actually think, wait a minute, how did I feel in that? And for some guys who have a problem with labeling their feelings, like me, guess what? The app has a scroll down menu of a million different choices. How are you feeling? And for me, sometimes I don't know how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking, or if I even like something until I see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is a really weird position to be in, but I think a lot of guys resonate that. I have a couple of coaching clients we talk about that. We're like, okay, let's dive into this. And the only way out is through. So you have to do this hard work. The app does it for you.
Right.
And you guys do not only focus on how to resolve negative conflicts and like negative communication styles and stuff like that. We also want to hear, guys, women, we want to hear positive things too. So you can actually use the clearing structure for positive things. Hey, man, when you did that, it made me feel like so respected and just puffed me up. And what that reminds me of is like the other times when I just felt like $1 million when you just looked at me or, said something positive about about me in front of my friends or something like that. So you can use it also for the positive stuff.
And there's lots of tools for that in the app. And but use communication tools. Like, again, your brain cannot hold inside of it the thing you're upset about, the relationship you're trying to maintain, the blah, 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 and then know how to do the communication part right.
It's almost like trying to run a computer with too many windows open with like 1% battery. It's like, oh, I'm holding on, I'm trying so hard, but then it just doesn't work, right?
So don't trust yourself. Just use a communication tool. That'll transform your marriage. Okay, who's ready for number one? The number one way to transform your marriage today is to transform yourself.
Oh,
yes.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
People don't know this. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it.
You didn't know it. And we were looking to each other 24/7. Well, if she would do this, then I would be happy. And if he would say this or do this or take me on a date or blah, 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 or look at me like he looked at, whoever in the grocery store, then things would be great. Right?
He's looking at Michelle with her curly hair. My friend, she's beautiful.
Do you guys understand what we're saying? And I cannot emphasize this enough. Stuff begins with you. You can't do it for your spouse. Your spouse should not do it for you because that only causes more enabling and doesn't get you to a happy place, right? So, guys, kick yourself in the nuts, kick your own butt, and do this stuff, right? And once I realized that, when we went through all the crap, like, oh, Melanie actually doesn't owe me anything just because we got married. Sure, she owes me like the normal kind of societal things, like, okay, we should work to do things together in a marriage, stuff like that. But she's not responsible for my happiness. She shouldn't have to do this or this or that. And once I was like, dropped all that crap that I learned from growing up, I was like, I am responsible, right? If I want a good body, if I want a healthy diet, if I want money in the bank, whose job is that? Nobody's going to wake me up at 5 and go to the gym for me. Nobody's going to put kale in my mouth instead of a scone. And nobody's going to be like, here's some dollops of money. Like sour cream on a baked potato. Here's a dollop of, here's a honey dollop. Here's a $500. It doesn't work that way. If you want it, go get it. Dave Ramsey says, leave the cave, go kill something and bring it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And metaphorically, that can be anything. If you want it, dudes, I'm talking to you, come on, for real. I'm fixing to get in coaching mode here. Then it's up to you. Women, don't be a baby girl, right? Not a baby girl in a bad way. No, like baby girl. You can do that, right? But don't be a baby girl and just like, oh, my man, my husband, my whatever is replacing my dad. I should deserve this, XYZ, because that's not attractive. That doesn't get you where you want to be personally, right? So guess what? You have the key. You have the key to your own happiness, to yourself. And I'm not saying this isn't from the spiritual context and all this stuff, but like, hey, if you want that body, if you want that bank account, if you want that job, if you want the relationship, change your own freaking self first.
Right.
And then in most cases, your spouse will go, whoa, who are you and where's my husband?
But they won't do it after 3 days.
No.
Just so that you know. That's what everybody thinks. Our clients are like, well, I've done something different for 4.5 days and they're the same. I'm like, that's not how it works.
So it's 75 hard. I decided to do it. Melanie hated it. She didn't want anything to do with it. But guess what? I kept on persevering. And after 5 days, she was still moaning about it.
Yeah, I hated it.
And I, didn't have the results from it. What did I do? You kept on going, kept on going. And then after about day 40, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Well, it was earlier than that. Day 30 is like, okay, this is for real. Right. And then after day 40, she was like, whoa, this is for real. He is being different. Oh, then guess what? She came around and did it herself. Coaching is the same thing. Finding your own happiness in marriage, getting your own house together and in order. It's the same, you guys. There is no difference. So please, please, please realize that. And actually, the number one thing, start at number one and then go backwards. Right. Yeah. We save number one because it is the most powerful, but you can start there and reverse down. Now, if you find yourself like experiencing depression, anxiety, some sort of childhood trauma that you just cannot get over, then this is a therapist talking, right? The licensed marriage and family therapist talking. Then I want you to go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. Faithful Counseling is a sponsor of the show. We work with them. They provide really good help. Otherwise, we wouldn't work with them, right? But if you go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage, you will get hooked up with a licensed professional counselor who is familiar with anxiety, with sex addiction, with depression, with postpartum depression, with communication issues. If you both suck at communication, then you need either counseling or you need coaching, right? But right now we're talking about getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. It's a new month. It's October. We're fixing to go into the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah,
Halloween,
Kwanzaa, Halloween. Oh yeah, don't forget.
It's the first holiday of the season.
But you guys, clinically speaking, the holidays are a time of high stress, increased alcohol and drug consumption, and a lot of fights, right? Because you're spending time with family, you're spending time at home with your spouse, and if COVID hasn't made it, kind of bad enough for you, let's get on top of this stuff, right? So I want you to go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage to call a counselor. You don't have to leave. You don't have to go out there and get the Rona. You don't got to spend gas money on your car. You don't got to fight traffic. You don't have to wait in an office. You do it from the ease and the convenience of your home when you go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. Right. And it's a teletherapy session. Just like if you're watching us on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you'll see your therapist just like this. It's confidential. It's HIPAA compliant. It's cheaper than traditional therapy, and it helps. You guys are going there. I see the analytics and the stats and stuff, and you guys are going there. And because you're going there, you're getting help. Which is the goal. So remember to go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. And again, changing yourself, transforming yourself is the number one way to transform your marriage. And I'll just use a quick story of about 6 or I don't know if it was 6 months ago or more. I was to the point, and there was nothing happening in our marriage that made me that I should have felt, no reason, quote unquote, that I should have felt this way, but I was crying all the time. I was sad all the time. And I was like, trying to be really happy. I love my kids. I love my husband. I love what we do. I love what am I upset about? And we have depression in our family. Anxiety runs in our family. And so I went to my doctor and I got a prescription medication because I couldn't manage it alone. So
I'm saying that as a way to encourage you. I could not do this on my own. I needed to talk to somebody. I needed to say, I need help. And with Faithful Counseling, they have an online survey. It's free. Just go, when you go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage, it takes you to the page where you fill out what you're dealing with. Everything from drug addiction to like depression, anxiety. What other things can you think of? Like loss, if you're grief,
communication issues, self-esteem issues.
Anything. And so don't be like I was. Don't try to do it alone. Don't think you can figure it out on your own. There's whole communities. Faithful Counseling is one of them that will help you get through this. So check it out, because you cannot be the best you if you are dealing with those things and not healing.
Right.
Stop dealing, start healing.
Oh, that's good.
That is good.
That's good.
But yeah.
So we hope that you have enjoyed these 5 things. Review them, go over them, and the most powerful one is start with you, you guys. And if any of this sounded good and you want to continue the conversation on a real freaking deep daily level, then email us at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com, right? Oh,
and we just posted on our Instagram and on our Facebook. There's a link. You can take a coaching test to see if you would be a good fit for coaching. And it's really fun. I think I made it. So if you don't like it, get mad at somebody else. But I made it.
No, but the power of coaching is super powerful. We did coaching last year, and it changed our lives, right? And it goes back to the statement of, if you think that you can white knuckle it and I can just do this when I just read this book or just get this journal or whatever, then guess what, guys? You would have done it by now, right? There was power in groups. There was power in accountability. There was power in encouragement. And we've been there. We've done that. And we got some stuff to share. So email us at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com. Don't let these next 3 months just go by. Like 2020 kicked us all in the butt, right? Kicked us in the nuts. And we have 3 months. How are you going to finish these 3 months, right? How are you going to finish? Do not use COVID as an excuse. Do not use all this crazy stuff as an excuse. It can be reasons that may have set you back, but it is not an excuse for growth.
Right.
Charlie, Charity says, stop dealing and start healing. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you guys,
thank you for
real, when we say, hey, email us at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com, that means email us. I will respond. I will schedule a 1 hour or more.
When you email us, it's actually us.
Right.
It's like us humans. We are the people who respond.
It is. So, and we will set up an hour call to see if coaching is the right fit, to see if you are the right fit for us and we are the right fit for you, and to best determine how we can serve you or just maybe help you. Right? Okay, because we're there.
Hi, sis. Good morning. This is Hattie. She's saying hey. So let's do quick conversation starters really quick as we wrap up, because I want to. So this is from the Anatomy of Marriage app. You can get it at the App Store, anywhere you get apps. Here's the question. Okay, Hattie. If Daddy smelled bad, what would you tell him?
You smell bad.
You just say you smell bad?
But then what? What should I do if I was sneaky?
Take a shower.
Take a shower.
Good job.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good one. If a crystal ball could tell you anything about yourself, your future, or a truth you seek, what would it reveal to you? That's kind of confusing.
Getting a bunny.
Getting a bunny. How do you want to? That was good, girl.
That's right.
There.
If you can see it, you can be it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna turn into a bunny. You'll get a bunny, right?
Right. She's got a DREAM.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's it. Why don't you tell people to rate and review our show on iTunes?
Rate and review the show on iTunes.
And say, make sure to subscribe to the podcast.
You can subscribe on live.
Gosh. Can you say subscribe to the show?
Subscribe to the show.
All right. See, now scram. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Share and first of all, rate and review the show. That really helps us go in the ratings and gets more people to get the show. And then also share the show. Send the link to your friend. Oh, my girlfriend from high school. She needs to hear this. Oh, that dude that I work with who's a douche.
Hey.
Hear this? No. Right?
Sure.
It's a thing. So you guys go share the show. Thank you. Remember to show some love to createdwithlove.com/AOM and then getfaithful.com/anatomy marriage. Okay, guys. Love you. See you next week. Have an unbelievable weekend.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay.